Welcome, everybody, to Casting for Two Presents a perfect waste of time. It's a new month, new episode, and there are no guests on this podcast. Absolutely no guests. There's only friends. And my friend on this month is a wonderful singer, songwriter, musician, a person in general. LAYKE is here, and yes.
Hello, y'all.
I didn't know what to say after that, but was that an okay
Chris,
intro?
It was perfect, and I'm so happy to be here, Chris. Thank you so much for having me, and it's great to be back talking to you again.
Of course, when I started thinking of this new side podcast and just like who should I have on, who can I get on, things like that. For sure, you were in the mix of that, because I was just like I enjoyed my conversation with you, and I'd like to have another one. So that's
well, I appreciate that. I love to talk, so let's get into it.
Perfect. So the point of this podcast is we're going to talk about a certain topic, subject, whatever, something that you may know that I may not know, vice versa. We both might not know. We both know, whatever. So we're just going to kind of roll with it, and we're going to see where it lands. Ooh, no, that's dumb. I have some liberty because I can kind of see what the topics are, and one it almost got me, and then I kept reading it, and I said no, that's not good. So I'm still okay, all right, I got it right here. So
I'm excited.
The question that we're going to chat about is the best piece of advice you've ever gotten was what?
Ooh, that is a very tough one.
Yes.
There are quite a few very good pieces of advice. I've been very blessed in my life to have some very smart people around me, mm-hmm. some wise people around me who have shared vast amounts of knowledge with me. And my dad was one of my best friends, is still one of my best friends. He passed away last year, but he was probably the wisest person, one of the wisest people I've ever met. And he always said to me, whenever you're approaching a situation, mm-hmm. you need to look at what the upside is and what the downside is. Oh. And make sure that you really value, take time to value those two things and figure out in a real situation, in a tough decision, where the upside of doing something is. Because if you can't really find a good upside, then you shouldn't be doing it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I love that. Now, when you're looking for an upside, do you think it takes more upsides versus the downsides? Or if there's just a really good upside, you take that?
I know he meant it like in certain business ways,
okay.
And I think when you look, I can look at it in two different ways. I can look at it on a business side because he was a businessman and see it as, yes, balance the upside, and the upside needs to be better than downside. But I think he meant it more on like a moral level, that when there are tough decisions in life, or when you're faced with, decisions on how you approach things, how you treat people, how you want to move in this world, what is the upside to doing certain things. He would see people do certain things to certain people, and he would say, I just don't understand why people would want to be this way to certain people, why people can't just be kind, why people can't just keep their mouth shut if they don't have something nice to say. Like, what is the upside of saying something hurtful to someone? What is the upside of coming out of your face and acting a certain type of way? Kind of like think before you act, and really make sure if you're gonna, say something that it has validity, and you're not, a lot of people on the internet these days, I think they just say things to say things. They have a lot of vitriol, and they just want to get reactions out of people. And it's like, what is the upside to that? And when you put that on like a moral level, it's like people are just poking and prodding at people all the time, trying to get reactions. And there's no real good upside to that. All it is causing more discourse and more pain within people. And I think there's enough pain in the world. So I think that he meant it, on a much broader scale of like morality of people. What is the upside to our actions? What is the downside to our actions? And when you're going to do something, you really need to think about that. You need to think about that and how you move through the world,
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It's one of those things that in my girlfriend and I were just chatting about, uh, how she works with a lot of kids and how a lot of them just don't have that decency or,
Hmm.
just to think about other people other than themselves. And it's just like, I I've been thinking about this a lot, and the whole idea of cancel culture really kind of surprises me that people take issue with it. And I think it goes
Hmm.
back to what you're saying. Just think about what you're going to say and then move on. Or if you have to say it, think about the consequences, and if there's nothing bad, then don't say it. There's so many of these, especially with comedians, because I like comedy, that are
Hmm.
complaining about cancel culture, and I'm just like, well, just don't do that joke.
Well, literally, it's like I always say that it's very like low hanging fruit type situation.
Yeah,
People make racist jokes, fat
yeah,
jokes, homophobic jokes, transphobic jokes. It's like these aren't jokes. It's like if you can't be a comedian without finding material outside
yes,
of
hmm,
ripping people down, then you really aren't a comedian. You're just kind of uh a not nice person. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Like, and
right,
you're hiding behind the fact that you're a comedian to, spit hate into the world, and
mm,
that's not really being a comedian. There's so many comedians out there that have they pull from all kinds of material, personal experience, things they see in the world, but they don't pull hateful things, and they're not like making fun of people or trying to bring people down. It's just, people, you really got to, I think that in this day and age, people think that there's like we're so like everything is right now. We want it right now. Everything is right in front of us. We have instant gratification, and at the
mm,
same time, I think people have they feel like they have a lot of entitlement to other people's to have opinions on other people, and I think that's really dangerous. And
mm,
that's where you get a lot of this hate on the internet that's just really unnecessary, which is why on my platforms and stuff I always try to keep it positive, and I delete hateful comments, and I've had people come in and make comments and say, "Oh, well, you're censoring," and I'm like, "No, that's not censoring." I was like, "I can do whatever I want with my space, and for
right.
my fans and the people coming to my space, I want them to feel comfortable, and I want them to be able to feel happy and know that they're not going to be dealing with trolls and hateful people, and that's the upside of coming to of the space that I provide on my platforms, is that you don't have to deal with that because I've thought ahead and I've said I don't want to allow that. You know what I mean? So I think there has to be a line at some point.
Right, right. Yeah, no, I completely agree. And yes, I mean, if you don't want haters, I mean, yeah, just get rid of them. But I don't
Hmm.
see any problem with that, of course. But I'm also not a random person commenting hateful things on like pet posts and stuff. Just because I don't know, I'm a sad individual and I need that instant gratification. No, so yeah, I
I know
don't.
people that get so upset on the pet posts, and they're like, "You're making your dog do videos." I'm like, that dog is loving doing this right now. Like
Yes.
that dog loves put like the one. Have you seen the one where they put the little um like the thing on the waist and they have them do dance to hips don't lie like
Oh,
Shakira?
uh huh. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I saw one and someone was commenting, "Your dog, you're dressing like your dog. It doesn't." And I'm like, the dog is having a ball.
Yeah.
Like the dog.
Look. After that whole thing, the dog got a treat, and the dog was happy. And
And then,
then,
well, the dog was shaking their tail the whole time, dancing to music with their owner,
yeah.
like or with their mom or dad or whatever. The dog is happy. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes, yes. It's just, yeah, no, it's just bonkers to me. And uh, I had a conversation with another friend about again censoring and things, and I had to stop and think about me, um, because I am selfish. No, because I just wonder in all my chats that I've done, um, I never feel that I have to censor myself or I have to, uh, you know, uh, I don't know, like I'm gonna say the wrong thing or anything like that. That's never occurred to me whenever I'm doing these podcasts because I'm just like, well, I mean, I have on who I want to have on, so that's a big plus right there. But also, why would I want to offend anyone? That
yeah.
doesn't seem right or polite or I get a waste of time to do. Like I just don't understand.
Yeah, like what's the upside? You know,
Right.
other than wanting to hurt, other than wanting to like cause pain and controversy, you know, and you're a nice guy. You wouldn't do that.
Yeah, no, you know, I appreciate you saying that. I do feel I've gotten better. When I was a kid, I still think I was pretty nice, but you know, there was that mean side that would come out because my friends would be like, "Hey, get this guy!" Like, uh, rip him a new butthole or something like that, and I'd be like, "Okay," and then I would just do it. But you know that,
I think we all went through stuff like that though, you know,
yeah.
and especially the era that we grew up in, you know what I mean? Like there was a lot of like peer pressuring with bullying and all kinds of
Hmm.
stuff, you know. That's like a valid thing, you know, thing we all went through, I think,
Oh,
one way or another.
oh, for sure. Yeah. You know, I got into a point where I would, you know, when filming things were a thing, where hanging out with your friends and, hey, let's film. And just hearing the language, I was just, man, I know I said that, but I didn't think I said it that much. And that's, you know, just kind of one thing that I regret. Like, why did I have to use that word? There's so many other words in the English language that I could have said, but I had to say something bad. But you know, again, I look at, like you said, other that the generation, especially movies, and I'm just, oh, that was just a thing that we did. Oh, but that's still
Hmm.
it's still kind of bad.
Yeah. I think you got to give yourself some leeway. You know what I mean? It's about learning. I think the people that don't learn from, and this is again there's a downside, the upside and the downside.
Right.
You know, the people that don't learn, the downside is they just continue to go down that hole. And they're, like you said, they're the cancel culture. People that can't handle cancel culture is always going to be those kind of people usually that are the ones that are the first people to spit hate, but then they don't want to be called on it. And that's always
Right.
really interesting to me, you know?
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't. And yeah, no, I agree. And I'm trying to think of the best piece of advice I ever received, but nothing is popping up. I like just be a good person. I don't know. That's kind of use your manners. I guess that's, you know, my parents. That's something that I hold dearly, especially the older I get. There, there's nothing more gratifying than hearing a please or no thank you. I don't know.
Hmm.
I don't know. I don't know if it's just my age, but when a young kid says yes, please, I'm like, oh, thank God. Oh, wow.
Well, I
Manners.
mean, I think it's like being from originally from Dallas, Texas. It's the kind of place where people, you know, say hello and they say please and thank you and stuff a lot. So I grew up around that kind of culture. And in California, I find that there's people are really nice here as well. I go to certain areas of the world and people are more reserved with each other and they don't talk to each other as much, which I understand. But California to me is it's still it's very relaxed and you know people are, you know, hey, what's up, how you doing type stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that that's important, you know, like just even those little things. It's not like, I mean, you don't have to go around saying hello and talking to everybody, because I
Right.
understand like there's a lot of people that have, you know, different type of, you know, learning disabilities and things where it makes them difficult. Like I have ADHD and like sometimes I go out of the house, I have anxiety and I'm like, I can't talk to anyone. I just need to go run my errands and go home. You know what I
Right.
mean? And it's
Right.
not being like offensive or anything, but I think, you know, when you can say hi or you feel like saying hi or hello or, you know, something like that yeah, it's nice and it kind of cuts through the crap of people's day sometimes when you hear a nice hello, you know. But I don't feel like anyone should be like forced to say something. But please and thank yous, I definitely agree. They're important. They're important. Please and thank yous. That's just manners. You're right. It's totally just manners.
Yeah, yeah. That's, you know, if there's one thing I'm gonna take to my grave, it's gonna be my manners. And I'm I could be I could be skewed or not remember any of it. My growing up, but I feel like that's one consistent thing that I've been able to do throughout my life. And seeing my niece and nephew, I'm just like, oh man, I don't know why please and thank you are so important to me, but you know, let's keep that going. Um, I don't, again, I don't, and I'm, I'm that guy that does say hi when I'm walking down the street, but I don't expect anything from it. It's,
Mm-hmm.
if you lock eyes with me, I'm gonna like hi, nod, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just
Mm-hmm.
who I am. But yeah, I don't expect a full blown conversation, especially if it's just like, I got stuff I got to do too. But
Yeah, fully.
yeah. um, but so yeah, again, I feel like that was a cop out, but I really cannot think of the best advice.
Well, I have another good one that my
Oh,
dad told me growing up.
yes, yes.
He always said, if life gives you a helping hand,
Mm.
grab onto it, run, don't ask questions unless it's illegal, don't do it.
Yes.
And like that's what he would say. Meaning that like a lot of people are afraid to ask, like accept help, or to like let themselves be helped. We're so this goes back to another, back to the we're very together because information travels so fast, and obviously now, but at the same time we're very separated because a lot of us spend a lot of time on our devices, and
Right.
a lot of us don't ask for help, and we end up very isolated. And he said life, when you get a helping hand, you need to recognize it, and you need to take that opportunity, because that's life, that's the universe like reaching out to help you out. And don't be afraid to accept help, and don't be afraid for a good thing to happen to you. So I think that's really important to remember, because I think that we fall into this, we can do it all by ourselves. And especially as like a femme growing up in Texas that was queer, and I always felt like I was very much trying to I always felt very isolated in a lot of ways, but as a result of that, I took that on as I can do everything on my own, and I don't need anybody. And that's not a good way to be. It's like you need to recognize helping hands in life, and you also need to recognize when good opportunities come, and to let those opportunities happen to you, because we deserve good things. And I think that people forget that even though life is hard, like we deserve to have joy, we deserve to have good things.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And another fantastic piece of advice, because I know people close to me are just so afraid to ask for help. And again, growing up the way that I did, there is no shame on my end to ask for help. If I could get help and be done with something, or have it done right the first time, I'm like, yeah, let's not waste any time. Let's do it. Help me, please, help. So yeah, no, I have no, there's no winner complex over here. I don't care if I win or come in first, or what. I'm just like, I just want to finish.
That's same here. Same here.
But I love
But
that.
there's those moments in life, where we become so self-sufficient that we forget to let other people help us. We forget to ask for help. And then also when good opportunities come around, sometimes we don't allow them to happen to us. So I think it's important to like recognize that, no matter how like tough and self-sufficient and thick-skinned we get, like we're all people, and we all need help, and we all deserve good things.
Right, yeah, no, I again, watching the DNC and just kind of hearing, I forgot who said it, but they mentioned that we're all neighbors and we help our neighbors. I think that was that Tim? I think that was Tim.
Probably. It sounds like I haven't been watching it. I'm not gonna lie. Those types of rallies make me a little bit uncomfortable. I don't know why, but
yeah, no,
do.
it's fair. So I always skip it as well, and I don't want it to be like I'm super political, because I'm really not.
Oh no, I mean basically everyone I know watched it. I'm like one of the only people I know that didn't watch it. I don't know why. It's just like they make me anxious for some reason. I don't know why.
No, I get it. When I turned it on to day 2, and it was a big huge party, that's what got me like, what is this? What's going on? I thought these were boring. And then hearing that Little John came out, and just all these things, I was just, what is this? And it also helped that there's nothing on TV.
Literally nothing else to watch.
So I'm like, well, okay, I guess we'll watch it again. So, but yeah, it was just kind of interesting to hear. Yeah, and again, just saying that we're all neighbors, we all have different points of view, but at the end of the day, we have to help our neighbors. And I was just, that brought me back to during the protests during COVID, when everything was going on, and just trying to make sense of it from my own point of view. And it just like, why are we're all why are we fighting with each other? We're all part of this earth. We're all sharing the same air and land and water. Like, why aren't we nicer to each other? And helping each other out. So that's where my brain went to. But yeah, no.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I mean, we definitely, like, I think it's a huge problem specifically in this country, is that, not to get too political, but is that there's not really a sense of community in a lot of places, right, in like community building and like wanting to help. I think a lot of people are very, and it's about what they need, and they're thinking just about themselves. And it's like, we need to think of community as a whole, because like when you have houseless individuals, when you have people that, can't get help that they need, that affects everybody. And people can think it doesn't affect them living in their nice neighborhoods or whatever, but we need to be concerned about, the person that's struggling the most in society. We can't just be obsessed with like celebrities and billionaires and blah, 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 and this pop culture thing that just happened. Like, there needs to be a level of community care that we don't have in this country, and that's really, really important. So I really do agree. I think it was Tim Walz that said it, because I have been reading articles about what's been going on, and I think you're right. I think it was Tim, but yeah, I totally agree. Like, with the protests, like, I think that they needed to happen, my personal opinion, because I think this was just a pot boiling over of things, right, and people that have been marginalized for so long that, and part of the framework of this country is, this country was started with a protest, pretty much, so, it was with a revolution and a protest. So it's like, essentially, the framework of this country is built on the principle of being able to do that. So but I think, the violence in this situation was the problem, but a lot of the violence that nobody wants to talk about was brought by the police. So, right, that's a whole other conversation. I don't want to get too much into that, but, I think that was a matter of things boiling over. And I think that kind of, it was bound to happen with groups that had been marginalized to the level they had. I think it was kind of high time that people were like, we're not going to stand for this anymore. And it was happening at a really crazy time because of COVID. So things got really kind of crazy, but it is what it is. Kind of, that's one of those kind of things. But yeah, I definitely think that we need a community. We need to care about our neighbors. We need to care about more than our neighbors. We need to care about the people, all humankind. And that's something that definitely is very lacking here. Yeah,
no, I completely agree, and I love the fact that you got wonderful advice, and it's something that anybody can do, not just you, but everyone can give a crap about the people around them, and also just kind of think about what you're doing. Think about what you're doing and help people. Just let's just do that. Let's start there.
Yeah, literally, like start at the base level. Like, try to be a good person. Try to put something good into the world every day. Try to not do something to make anyone else's life harder. We can at least start there.
Right. Right. Yes. The bar is literally at the floor. Let's get that bar going up, and then yes, I think we'll all be happy.
Agreed.
But do you think that we have wasted a perfectly good amount of time?
I do, and I think it was a great way to waste it talking to you. I've had a great time chatting with you.
Well, likewise, like I said, you were certainly on the list of people I wanted to chat with. When this popped up, I just feel like this was going to be something good to talk about. The other one was like, what apps do you hate? And I'm just like,
oh no.
Yeah, exactly. It lured me in, and then I was just, nah, that's not good enough.
I wouldn't have been good at that one anyways, because all the apps I have, like, I use for specific things. Other than that, I'm not like really using anything else. So I probably wouldn't have known to help.
Oh my God. I have a phone, and not to brag, but I try to use as little apps as possible. And it drives my girlfriend crazy, because if I want to go somewhere, I just go to the internet app, and I'm looking it up and she's just, why don't you
Are
just
you
download
so really?
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't want to download an app for just searching one thing. I don't want to do that. So, yeah.
I'm an app enthusiast. I
Are
have apps.
you?
Like if there's an app for something for that's going to make my life easier, I will use it. But I don't have like random apps like game apps and
Yeah.
random I don't know other types of apps. Mine are all like utility. You know what I'm saying? They're
Gotcha.
like for
Yeah.
specific things. But if there's an app for like I went to Red Rocks a few weeks ago for a concert in Denver and for a show, and I downloaded the Red Rocks app, and it made my life easier while I was there. I deleted it when I left. Like I will fully, if there's something to make my life easier in the moment, I will utilize that app.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I don't know if it's just because I'm like, man, internet. Like I love the internet. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just like I don't mind going to the web page. What's the www?
My one friend like traveling. She met me in Denver. She came from Texas. I came from LA. And we both flew Southwest, and she didn't have the Southwest app. And I was like, girl, why don't you get the app? Like, it makes your life easier when you travel. And so I downloaded it for her because she's not really a technology person. She's like anti it. But she has a phone because you have to have a phone. And so I downloaded it for her on the way home, and she was like, it was so easy. I was like, yeah.
For stuff like that, yeah, I'm the same as you. I would download the app, and as soon as I don't need it, all right, let's get rid of it.
Yes.
Just like if I ever need to take an Uber or a Lyft, I'll download the app, and then once I'm done, I'll just delete it because I'm like, I don't need it anymore. Bye.
You delete it every time? That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah. I'm just like, I don't need it. Whatever. Go away.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah, I don't know. But for the people at home who'd like to follow you online, where can they do all that?
You can check me out. I am on my Insta handle, all my social handles, Insta, TikTok, Facebook, everything is going to be at LAYKE Official, LAYKE Official. And then you can find my music on all streaming platforms under LAYKE, LAYKE. I'm currently actually in the process of switching distribution. So if you do not see my stuff today, it will be there literally next week. They're just switching everything over right now because your girl is elevating her where she is in the industry a little bit. So I'm going to have some new stuff coming out soon, and I'm really excited. So I'm excited to tell them more about that. But yeah, I'm everywhere. I'm LAYKE Official, LAYKE Official.
Perfect. You know, because I didn't want to say anything, but for my birthday, I always do a 12-hour stream, and I end it with a DJ set of just music that I put together. And I wanted to use one of your songs, but I have to go through Tidal to do it. And I was just, I can't find LAYKE on here. That's okay.
It's just because it'll be back. We're just switching distribution, and it's like a weird overlap time where it's like off and then it goes back on. But it'll be back here in a few days. So it'll be back and better than ever.
Perfect. Well, I wasn't worried, but I was like, life will find a way. It'll be fine.
Life always finds a way.
Exactly. But you have a wonderful rest of your day, and keep staying safe and healthy. Okay.
You too. I had so much fun. Take care.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.